All right, back in the basement. I don't know if you've been following this channel for a little bit. You might remember that I used to talk about books that I had been reading. That was probably like a year ago now. It's just been a little crazy. I make videos for work, and so to sit down and make more, it's just kind of, it's a lot. But I want to talk about the most exciting, interesting author. It's changed my mind more than any other book in a long time, or I guess author. Um, his name's Wendell Berry. I don't know if you guys know Wendell Berry. If you know me in real life, I've probably given you one of my Wendell Berry books. I started reading Wendell at the beginning of the pandemic, I think. And he has just blown my mind. So this book is kind of the big one, his treaty. It's called The Unsettling of America. And he's writing about stuff in the 70s that is happening now. Just kind of like the supply chain breakdown, the big food companies breaking down, and just America's dependence on huge corporations for like daily sustenance and things you need to survive. And he's an advocate. He doesn't really like labels. He's like an 80-something-year-old guy. He's worked on a farm most of his life, a writer, and he writes novels and essays and poems, and he's just written a ton. And he's kind of just beating the same drum over and over again about loving the place that you live, taking care of the environment, and being producers more than consumers. Instead of trading money for goods, maybe produce some of the goods. And some of the most encouraging, challenging, thought-provoking things for me have just been the idea that the household should be a place of production. So not just a place where you come and veg out after a day of working out of the house, but a place where life and cultivation and love and everything happens in the home. Have your center be the home. And he writes about sociological things, economical things. He goes the full range. But the first book I read was called The Memory of Old Jack, and I wasn't really sure what was going on. But it's an old man in the town called Port William, and he's got these three. He writes like it's this town, and he writes the history of it through different people's perspective, spanning, I don't know, it's probably 100 years or more. And there's short stories that he has. One's called Wild Birds that I read, and the first one I read was Memory of Old Jack, and it's just remembering his life. And the vision he gives for life in these novels is amazing. It makes living in a technological computer age really challenging. But he is sort of a prophet, I would say, to our culture, and we need his perspective. I need his perspective to challenge the way I think about consumption and technology and the land and what are people for, what are we doing here on this earth, and how to take care of it. So, highly recommend it. My favorite one is actually Jayber Crow. It's thick, and it's a novel about the barber in Port William. He started out as a seminary student and kind of refound himself as just a regular old guy. So I really appreciate that because I, was in seminary and church world for a long time and kind of had to rediscover who I am. Nathan Coulter is a great one. My wife's favorite is Hannah Coulter. There's so many good ones. The Art of Loading Brush I have here. Haven't finished that one. And if you're an audiobook person, The Unsettling of America is read by Ron Swanson. I can't think of his real name right now. And then also The World Ending Fire I'm listening to now. It's a collection of essays. Super good. Also read by Ron Swanson. So if you're an audio person, pop those in. Highly recommend it. Him as a person and just as a philosophy of life, it's changing the way we think about everything. and it's making us want to live on a farm, or at least have land. That's why we got chickens, and we also have bees now. Maybe I'll make a video about those later also. Trying to like post more than once every 3 months. So, I don't know. Probably not. I've got 3 kids now. And a job. It's hard to do YouTube just for funsies. Anyway, Wendell Berry. I'm not going to put any Amazon links for Wendell Berry because that just feels wrong. He's not a big fan of big business or Amazon. Go to a local bookstore. Ask him about it. Support your local economy. He's all about the small local economy. Small solutions to big problems. That is one of the most important, interesting concepts that he has, because he goes after like soil erosion, pollution, global warming, people not caring about their neighbors, and he's like, what's the solution? The solution is small. You, me doing something, knowing where my food comes from, going to the local co-op. Local economies are the answer to all of our world's problems. The world has a lot of problems, and Wendell Berry has known about it for a long time, and he's been talking about it longer than anyone else I know. He cuts through the rhetoric and kind of the, I don't like the news. So he's been writing about this for a long, long time. So anyway, am I rambling now? Probably. This is the end. Goodbye.